All right, Matt, guess what?
You finally decided to become a lady.
Yes, but that's another podcast. It's been a crazy year for us. We knocked out half a century of episodes.
Half a century.
Yeah. And we're going to call that season 1.
Okay.
So guess what today is?
Season 2.5.
No, it's Hanukkah.
Well, it's one of the days of Hanukkah. It's not. It's not. Hanukkah's not just one day.
As always, you are right. You are correct, sir.
You are correct, sir.
This is the first official episode of, I guess we'll call season 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Lost in New York.
Lost in New York. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's Hang Out with Your Slang Out.
Temple of Doom. Wait, was that 2 or was that 1?
That was 2.
Sweet.
But it's technically
accidentally getting these.
It's
right.
technically a prequel. So that actually took place before Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Whoa.
Mind blown, right? Yeah. Pretty good at that.
It's no Crystal Skull, man. I can't wait till we get to season 4.
You think we'll make it?
No.
We'll be on tour by then and have
we'll go see some bands on
and-
tour probably, yes.
That makes sense. And some comedians. But
Sure.
it's season 2. This is episode 51. We got something special in store for you.
It's episode 51, which means I think this episode's going to be out of this world.
Ooh. That TV show?
Well, yes, it was.
Okay.
But I don't know if we're able to freeze time by touching our fingertips together.
Okay. Episode 51. It's going to be Silver Spoons.
Episode 51, it's going to be the Hogan family.
Oh, that's a good one. Because that's the spinoff, right?
But I definitely watched the Hogan family. And then what did it become? Valerie's family?
Closet.
Or something like that?
Yeah, she sells lingerie now.
Or was it the other way around?
Valerie and then Hogan's family.
Who died and then the lady had a glass eyeball?
We talked about Pee Wee Herman again?
No. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
No. We're talking about, what's her name? With Sandy Duncan.
She had a glass eyeball?
Yeah. So Hogan family, whatever it was, started with somebody else. And then she came on. And the only thing I remember about her is that she had a glass eyeball. I don't remember what the transition was and what the name was before and then what it became.
You know what just popped up my feed? The death of Bo and Luke Duke from Dukes of Hazzard.
They died together. How apropos.
Yeah. Which I don't remember. I just remember one day turning it on and there was 2 new guys and they were like the cousins of Bo and Luke. And they look like if you were in one of those funhouse mirrors, they were just like a little bit different versions of the original guys. And I'm like
if somebody had to make versions of Bo and Luke out of clay, but without looking at pictures.
Yes. It was like that. It's like when I ran home from school, excited as all hell, turn on the TV, ready for my 5 powerful lions merged together as Voltron. And there was like 26 cars and like 40 different people. And I was like, what the hell am I watching? And it still said Voltron on it. You can't do that to a kid, man.
I mean, they can because they did.
They did. Episode 51. You know, there's a place called Area 51.
I do know that.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of spooky.
Sure. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you're not into aliens.
But I am into aliens.
But you are into the military.
I'm into Alf.
Yeah. Who's not into Gordon Shumway? Is that what his name was?
Alien life form. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Always be Alf to me.
Gordon Shumway.
Gordon Shumway is the perfect way to start our 51st episode.
Yeah. Of course it is.
Well, this is season 2. Dan talking to you.
This is leveled up Matt talking to you.
2.0?
Yeah, we'll call it 2.0.
All right. And this is still Hang Out with Your Slang Out.
Even though we know you all wanted something else. Suck on this because you got us anyway. Take that, losers. I mean, also listen to us a lot.
Yeah. So the best thing about season 2 is my co-host has found the perfect word for us to start this amazing journey off with.
It's the 51st episode.
Yeah.
We talked about Area 51 a little bit in the intro, yeah.
Yep. And there's 51 states.
I said the episode would be out of this.
Ignores it completely.
Well, I mean, Puerto Rico, technically.
Puerto who?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico Suave.
That's not. I also don't think they'd be happy to. It's not important. The point is, what if that's one of the other countries we were listened to? Nah, I'm pretty sure it's Uzbekistan. That's not the point.
I just locked in Rico Suave. We're good.
You locked in?
Yeah, Puerto Rico Suave. They're going to be flooding the gates to get in here. I don't know what gates we're talking about, but
Bill?
They'll be flooding Bill Gates to get into those podcasts.
Somebody warn him. His house is about to be full of water. So we were talking about the Area 51. We were talking about this episode being out of this world. So I think it would only be apropos to have some sort of space related slang term.
All right. So it's bougie part 2.
So glizzy it. No. Anyways, there's this band that we like.
Are we starting the second season with Highly Suspect?
Let me rephrase that. There's this band that we like that has a name that actually was a slang term in the World War II era.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's going to be our word.
Thin Lizzy?
No.
Oh,
the Beatles. No, it's not that either.
Okay.
No.
What do you got?
FOO Fighter.
Ooh, I hope we can keep this episode to the 35 minute minimum that we do.
I think we're already probably past it. Our intro is pretty long.
For me and you to discuss Foo Fighter, the word, it's going to be hard to not go to the band. And then it's going to be hard to not be in this room for 5 hours.
All right. Well, challenge accepted.
Which I guess we should get this out of the way. We're huge Foo Fighter fans, Dave Grohl fans, actually whole band fans. I don't know about that new keyboarder. So he's still a little.
So I assume that if I said the term Foo Fighter, you would immediately only think of the band.
No. Well, being one of the guys that watched a documentary with him from like 10, 15 years ago, he has one of the best quotes ever when he's talking about how he named the band. And he recorded that tape after the death of Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. And he did.
I thought you meant Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah. He's a baseball player, right?
No, that's Justin Verlander.
Okay. I thought that was Justin Zoolander. Either way. Anyways.
Oh, I see how season 2 is going.
Yeah. And he said he just needed something. So he grabbed the Foo Fighters. It's like a call sign the Navy, or I guess just the pilots in World War II used to use to signify usually like UFOs or unidentified flying objects. Didn't necessarily mean alien, just could have been an enemy too.
Yes. To clarify, UFO, unidentified, is the key word. It doesn't have to be an alien.
No, it could be an underwater flying object. Those are UAPs now. Anyways, Dave Grohl picked that thinking that would never stick and that the band would never take off because it technically wasn't a band. It was just a solo cassette he had made. And now it's synonymous with that. If you actually look up the term Foo Fighter, it's hard to find where it originated from because everything is about the band.
Right. And now 30 years later, nobody knows what the original meaning is. Now everybody just thinks it means badass rock band. And it does.
Yes.
But it also means unidentified flying object.
Whenever I see a UFO, I yell Foo Fighter. So when did you learn that was actually a thing? Like the Foo Fighter meant that?
I think earlier today.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I knew that.
That is surprising. I figured you would have been known that at the jump.
Yeah, you know that I like knowing things about things that I like, and that is not one of those things that I knew. I thought that it was just I knew that it was like a random stupid name that he used because he didn't plan on it sticking because he didn't even know if it was going to be a thing. I knew all of that.
What was the album that he recorded in the garage? So they were recording the album Wasting Light. They did the documentary on the recording of that because they brought Butch Vig back to be the producer of it. And they actually got, what's his name? The bass player for Nirvana.
Chris Novoselic.
Yeah, he actually plays a track on there. It's one of the best documentaries in the world. And it's the funnest thing in the world.
It's better than baseball, a Ken Burns documentary.
I thought you were going to say basketball.
It's better than Civil War, a Ken Burns documentary.
Yes.
It's better than something else, a Ken Burns documentary.
But that's where I heard it for the first time, because that was like when they put out the trailer for that. They actually end the trailer with him talking about that. If I'd have known that this band would have been famous, I'd have picked a different name, because he's also the stupidest name in the whole world. And it kind of is silly.
It is silly.
So I just assumed, even before you were a Foo Fighters fan, because you were a Stone Temple Pilot fan, right? And that's kind of what it was their side band that.
Well, it wasn't their side band.
Yeah. So what's the story?
So, as many people know, Scott Weiland had a bit of a drug problem. And so during their first breakup, the band split off and they formed a band called Talk Show. Mm-hmm. And Talk Show, actually their album's fantastic if you've never heard it. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good show. Really, really good stuff. And so I was convinced that due to his drug problem, I was never going to get to see Stone Temple Pilots live, which, was a pretty safe bet at the time, probably. Mm-hmm. And so I decided that I was going to go see them in a show that was happening in lovely Oakland, California. And they were opening for a little band called the Foo Fighters.
Yep.
At the time, I did not like the Foo Fighters. I thought that their first album was a little heavier than the style that I generally like.
Mm-hmm. That would be the demo tape that he turned into the album.
Right. But the tour was the Color and the Shape tour, which was their second album. And so I went, and
it's basically one of the best albums ever.
Yeah.
That'll stand the test of time.
And so I went, and it was, I don't know, 6 weeks after Taylor got hired to be drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And Talk Show was great. Like, I'm super glad that I went. And fast forward, I actually did get to see Stone Temple Pilots live once, which was awesome. But Foo Fighters come out on stage. They're playing an amazing set. There's a curtain over half the stage or a part of the stage. And about halfway through, the curtain comes up and it's a second drum kit. And Dave runs back and jumps on drums. And Dave and Taylor are playing a drum duet for what must have been 30, 35 minutes.
That would be amazing.
And from that moment forward, they have been my favorite band of all time.
But just knowing you in the whole, how old would you have been at this concert?
17, I think.
Oh, so this might have been before you were Mr. Smarty Pants.
Oh, I was pretty smarty pants back then.
I just assumed you would have already, even if Foo Fighters wasn't your thing, because of Nirvana and Dave Grohl, you would have known that that's where the Foo Fighter name
I guess,
came from.
But I mean, you have to take into account, like, I don't know, and this is hard to say now. I'm looking back on it, obviously. I don't know how many people knew that Dave Grohl was the drummer of Nirvana until Foo Fighters became a thing. And then it was, the former drummer for Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew Kurt.
And that's how they introduced him forever. It was like, here's the former drummer for Nirvana's new band.
Right.
Which he hated.
Right. Because he wished they had said the former drummer for Honest More. No, that was Taylor. But yeah, like, for the longest time, I didn't know anything about the guys that weren't Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. I just knew that I liked their music.
There's an Alanis documentary on Max, and she discusses that moment when Taylor decided to leave the band, because it was at a moment where she was women empowerment and all that stuff, and Taylor and all her guys in her band were doing stuff that was the opposite of that with the groupies, and she was like being torn back and forth, and she had to like scold them and all that stuff. But she says, because she knew back then just how good he was, and she said it broke her heart when he left, but she understood. But so they had a connection even after he went to the Foo Fighters. So it's like, and when he passed, when Taylor Hawkins passed, I kept waiting for her to make some kind of comment or anything, and she was one of the few people who didn't, like, because she was just totally mourning his presence or his absence, I guess.
I mean, anybody that can be forced to play drums on You Ought to Know night after night after night.
Imagine how good her
true professional.
Imagine how good her show must have sounded, though.
True.
Must have been awesome. So we'll get this out of the way. I don't know if I'll lean on Urban Dictionary too much, because we're finding that.
Yes, he will.
Well, we're finding the main dictionary, or even was it Slang Punch or something like that?
Slang.net. It's like a normal ending to whatever. It doesn't matter.
We're finding that they actually are coming up with better, more thorough stuff, because this is kind of like Wikipedia.
Because it's by professionals and not some random nut job on the street.
What are you talking? Babu is the one I'm reading his stuff right now. You're telling me he's not professional?
He hasn't gone.
It's all undercase.
He hasn't gone to medical school yet. He's not Dr. Bababu.
It might be. It was from 2003, so he might have got through, and he might.
Well,
be.
hello out there to Dr. Bababu.
Did doctor? Is that what you just said? Did Dr. Bababu?
No, you said the doctor.
No, you said the doctor. Wait till I rewind that back, and it's going to be the doctor. It's going to be awesome.
All right.
But Dr. Bababu, he puts in here Foo Fighter. Number 1, it's a UFO. Okay. Number 2, a member of the band, the Foo Fighters. Pretty much sums up this episode. I think we're good, right?
All right. Let's cut it.
Let's just start. Let's just go to the 52nd episode.
Yeah. What are we even doing sitting around here?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I've always liked about Dr. Bababu. He's succinct.
I'll let you read this one.
I don't think I want to.
It's just dumb enough that it'll sound better coming from you.
Yes. Yes, it will. Can I read both of them?
Do it.
Great.
Yeah.
The Foo Fighters, they fight Foo is the definition. Person 1, the Foo's about to overrun us. Person 2, no, they're not. Here come the Foo Fighters.
I think I have a shirt that says the same thing.
Probably. Also, this was posted 3 weeks pre-COVID. So this guy didn't even have time out in his hands. He actually had to come up with it. Thanks, Doth. And then lots of letters that don't go together next to each other posted on August 1st of 2020. So right in the heart of COVID. The Foo Fighters, a band of brave fighters who took down the species that terrorized the earth long ago, known as the Foo. Bro, how did the Foo go extinct? The Foo Fighters took them out. Wow, that's sick.
That is sick. And I hope that is true. Hang on, let me check. Beep, boop, 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 bop, beep. That is true. Did you hear my little machine brain figuring that out?
Yeah. I can even see the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Going down a couple, Foo Fighters, unidentified lights in the night sky in World War II seen by some American flyers over the Pacific Ocean and Germany at night. Foo comes from a comic by Bill Holman. Not fully explained, but most likely a result of aviators' vertigo.
That's actually kind of interesting.
And this sounds like it's by a real person, Ludwig Wittgenstein.
Dr. Wittgenstein.
I'm more upset about his second definition, which is a great, though uneven, rock band fronted by Dave Grohl, who may be the coolest thing that has ever been.
Uneven?
Yeah, I don't know what that
When
means.
did he write that? What year was that?
2009.
Okay, well, that's a long time ago. They're definitely not uneven now.
Foo Fighters, musical band, blah, blah, blah. Maybe not as intriguing for some people. Nonetheless, a Foo Fighter was a type of Japanese fighter plane aimed to interfere with enemies' ignition systems in battles. These planes were silent and never engaged in hostile action. However, when not discovered, many people and scientists alike claim they were unidentified flying objects which paraded the sky during nighttime.
Ooh. So hearing all this is telling me that we're coming out of the gate season 2 with an actual flashback episode.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us. We're all grown up.
We flashing back.
We're all grown up. Because I don't know how much a Foo Fighter, that term, would be used as slang anymore.
The next two definitions. Sorry, I got to keep going.
All right.
Because they sort of build. This one gives a little more to the definition that we're actually doing. Mysterious balls of light that follow World War II bombers on their runs, derived from the French word feu, which means fire.
That I feel like I'm in like science class right now.
The next one, fucking greatest band to ever live, ever.
That's from Matthew Kean, right?
No, Mac Daddy.
Exactly. Matthew Kean. He gets referred to as Mac Daddy on this all the time.
His statement was Foo Fighters leave footprints on all the haters' asses.
Mac Daddy bringing it. Yeah, you get referred to as Mac Daddy, and I get referred to as Wiggity Wiggity Whack. Yeah, so this is weird. This is going to be a weird flashback episode then. Right?
I guess. Why? Because you don't like World War II?
I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
Is it?
No, not at all.
Oh. Well, you're missing out. There's a lot of interesting stuff to glean from World War II.
Well, my whole last name is, not good times from World War II.
Well, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
The plane we were named after, the Messerschmitt, actually that company that made that got their asses handed to them, and they weren't allowed to make planes for like 10 or 15 years. So they started making little mini cars with like 3 wheels. And now they're like collector's items.
The mini cars are?
Yeah. They're awful. They're straight awful. Like they were horrible, horrible vehicles.
Do you think Hitler rode in one of those with his poodle?
Well, a couple of them look like mechanical poodles with wheels. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. All right. I had fun with this episode. I'm actually excited about season 2. I think we learned a lot in season 1.
I'm actually excited about season 2 also because I'm hoping that this year you get good.
I'm hoping that we can find more bands to talk about that we like and equate them to being slang words.
Like Skid Row.
There we go. Or like Molly Hatchet.
Or Led Zeppelin.
Or Tub Thumpin'. Chumbawamba?
Chumbawamba.
Yeah. Chumbawamba. That's got to be like an Australian slang word.
Maybe.
Chumbawamba. Is that Australian?
Or like Duran Duran. No, that's probably not.
What about Gore? Cannibal Corpse. There we go. Say that all the time.
Oh.
Did you like Silverchair?
I did, actually.
I did too. I think they should have been bigger.
Yeah, well, I think part of the problem and the reason they weren't is when they released that first album, they were 15 years old.
Yep. What's his name had some problems. But man, he wrote some good songs.
He wrote some good songs, and like the instrumental part of them was filthy. They were so good for kids.
Yeah. He was really talented.
Like they would have been good for adults. Knowing that they were 15 is like mind blowing how good they were.
Mm-hmm. You know about kids. Says it in the paperwork.
Yeah, they taste like chicken.
Mm-hmm.
They go really great with a nice Chianti.
Yeah.
And some fava beans.
One of the new rules for season 2 is we have to podcast like 15 feet from each other. It's in his
Yes,
paper.
because he's a child and I'm not allowed closer than 15 feet to children.
Mentally a child. But you could still do damage with me. Right?
What?
To damage my child mind, you have to go through one of my ear canals or mouth, right? That's gross.
Yeah, I think everything you're saying right now is kind of gross, and
right.
You need to dial it back just a bit, like 30 or 40 yards.
You go outside. Close the door.
Don't come back.
Lock it. No, I'm actually really excited about season 2. Hopefully, we'll have some new little fun things to do for.
Who knows what we're going to get into? And let's be honest, like the show is ever evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Or devolving, whatever you want to say. But the important note is that kids are saying new stupid things every day. And so we should never run out of material for you to probably not listen to.
And I'm sure there's still adults saying stupid things. And there's nothing worse than an adult saying what the kids are saying.
Did I tell you the other day I was sitting at work and they brought up the show because one of my coworkers, the head brewer, did not know what Riz was, and I had to explain it to him because we had already done the episode about Riz. And their first response, every one of them, was, "Oh, you're still doing that?" Yeah, I'm still doing that.
Thanks for the support, guys.
And it's like, actually, we just posted episode 38, and they're like, "Holy crap, you have 38 episodes up?" I was like, "Yeah," and you've clearly listened to none of them. Yes. So thank you for your support.
Thank you for the support. And what's funny is when we recorded Riz is how much even that word has kind of changed. So we might actually revisit that one.
One of my employees made up for it, though, by saying that he had listened to whatever the most recent episode was and that he really liked it.
Good.
Maybe he was just trying to get a raise.
Either way, I'll take it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, works.
Yeah, here's an extra $1.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Let's give that guy a shout out right now. What's his name? We'll hashtag it.
Orion.
What? That's not a real name.
Sure it is.
That's like a slang word.
Well, probably also, yeah.
That's like a belt in the sky.
He's not the only one. Matt has also listened to the podcast. Not me.
Yeah, you.
There are three Matts at work.
Oh, you need to nip that in the butt.
No, actually, we were going to do the exact opposite. We were going to get a Walter Station Brewery work shirt.
Matt 1, Matt 2.
No, that we were going to put up for sale, and they all had Matt as the nameplate.
Okay.
Because, 30% of the time you're right anyway, so you may as well just make it an item that everybody can buy. Remember how when Nirvana was big, work shirts with the wrong name on it used to be super popular?
Well, I guess that was, right?
We're just bringing it back, baby.
All right. I think you should bring back Spuds McKenzie, but that's just me.
He's dead.
Still. He lives on in my heart. Season 2 officially kicks off. And officially ends.
So this is Matt 2, Electric Boogaloo.
He stole my number 2.
Well, you weren't going to use it.
I wasn't.
Okay, maybe you were. So
This is the return of Dan.
oh, nice. See, that worked out well.
Okay. But it's still hang out with your slang out.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget, we still have the same email. You can still send us letters that we'll read. Some of them even on the air. Is this
And
the air?
he promises to be kind this time.
As long as you agree with me.
There's the rub.
It's not a rub. It's just a stipulation.
Just let it happen, people.
hangoutslangout@gmail.com.
Or find us on any of their socials. Instagram, message us, any of those places. I guess I should name more than just Instagram.
Sure, like Facebook.
And Twitter X.
X.
Yeah. Any of those.
And Tiki-Taki. Are we on that too?
Yeah. Or even our website, hangoutslangout.com. We have a little portal there. And we're always throwing weird, funky little things on that website. So check it out. Lots of fun art.
Things that are legally able to be viewed, just for the record.
Yeah. So thank you for being here. And if you guys have made it this far to episode 51, I hope you'll be here. And I hope we make it to episode 100. It'd be great.
One of us will listen in to find out who it is.
Place your bets. I don't know. My dog was pretty good on here the other day.
He said less stupid shit than you do.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Which is surprising if you've ever met his dog.
It's not it's not a high bar.
No. No, it's really not. Oh. Until next time, people.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. You don't remember that?
Well, no, I do remember that, but I would want to be them. They get to listen to us.
They can listen to me.
You're right.
You're just like the frosting.
You're
like
right. I wouldn't want to be. It does make more sense. Later, Slangers.
Right?
Zing.
Zang.
That means excellent.
We've had this conversation before.
I know.
You were wrong in it before.
Yeah, but I'm not wrong.
You'll
now.
be wrong again.
No, this time I heard you. The first time you didn't actually say it in conversation and got mad at me that I didn't hear it the first time.
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
That you were wrong about it. Even my wife said you were wrong. My wife says it's true.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Can we ask her what FOMO means?
God damn it. Checkmate. It's pretty good. Damn it.
I win again.
Fuck this game. And there's season 2 for you guys. 51 episodes and we call it.
Grandma's collecting payments all over the place and I'm sitting on Baltic with shit.
Yeah.
Fuck this game.
Where'd you get the pink 50s, you cheating whore?
No, I'm not going to stop, Grandpa. Nana is a cheating whore.
Thank you, Dan Cook.